Sometimes life just sucks, and sometimes it freaking rocks. We will discuss all the things from family and real estate to travel and just life in general. So take a seat, or don't, you do you, and welcome to the LumBADASS Podcast. I have to start by normally how I end, by thanking you for being here, because I was initially going to have Sweetie Pie here with me, and he would not come.
He didn't want to come on the podcast?
Well, he was just like, I told him 2 nights ago, I was like, hey, I need you to be on my podcast. I'm filming on Thursday. And he was like, no. And I'm like, yeah, you're going to be like, what do you mean no?
It wasn't a question.
It wasn't a question. And clearly I don't hear no from him a lot, because I was like, what is this word you speak of? And I was like, okay, yeah, you're going to be on my podcast. Literally. Then I tell him again last night, and he's like, what are we going to talk about? And I'm like, we're going to talk about all the things. We're going to talk about being married. And he was like, no. And I'm like, you want to talk about sex? And he's like, no, I don't need people to know about my sex life. Okay, do you want to talk about, and then I don't even remember what he said. And I was like, we could talk about that. I don't even remember what it was. And he was like, no. So I don't know. I feel like he's shy or something. I'm so annoyed, you guys. I'm so annoyed.
Interesting, especially because you're such an open person and your whole life's on social media.
Including him.
But he doesn't have a social media account, does he?
No, but he goes on mine. Like, don't trip. He totally goes on mine.
So he just likes to lurk.
He totally is a lurker. Absolutely. 100% lurker. Yep. But still, and it's just because he likes to see what everybody's doing. The thing that he doesn't want to do is he's like, anybody that I talk to, and I see on a regular basis, that's who like I want to talk to and see on a regular basis. I don't need to know what Susie J is doing that I've known since, kindergarten or whatever. Like, and he doesn't want to respond. He doesn't want to do any of that stuff, which he doesn't want to comment. So I get it, but I feel like he's super like annoying and stuff like I am too. In fact, he's way more annoying even than I am. Annoying meaning like he likes to talk a lot because he says inappropriate shit all the time.
But within the confines of your group.
I feel like he's branching out, though. You've heard him be inappropriate. For sure.
Now maybe because this will be recorded evidence. He doesn't want that.
Fair enough.
Maybe.
I still
so
don't
now
like
you
the
have
idea.
your work wife here instead.
So my work wife. Yep. I can't have my real husband. I have to have my work wife instead. But I'm so happy. So thank you so much. And because Sweetie Pie was so reluctant to be here, I actually kind of want to talk about dating today. Because our dating life,
my personal life will be out there for everyone to judge.
So show David how it's done. Okay, here's the thing. No, honestly, because I do think that, we are very different. Obviously, I'm married. I've been married for 20 years. You were married for a long time too.
I was married for 14 years and together for 18.
Yeah, that's a long ass time.
And I was only 19 when I met my ex-husband. Yeah.
That's crazy. And I was
2 kids.
See, and I was 18 when I met Sweetie Pie. So, I mean, we could have
had the same life.
We could have.
Until 4 years ago. We did have the same life up until 4 years ago.
I can't believe it's only been 4 years.
Well, it'll be 5 this December.
Okay.
That I left. But
right.
I mean, there was some legality stuff, and COVID slowed everything down. So it took 2 years to actually process the divorce. But
like, and make it official?
In my mind, it's from the day I said, like, our legal separation that
we're done. Yeah. Yes. And you guys co-parent and are wonderful and everything. So it worked out great, which I know is not the case for everybody who ends their marriage. So I'm super grateful for you for that. But now you're like in this whole other realm. And I have to be honest. Okay, so David and I celebrate.
I'm getting anxiety.
Okay, are you getting anxiety?
What you're going to ask me.
I'm not going to ask you. Okay, I won't ask you anything. I won't ask you. I will let you share whatever you want. Now,
you can ask me questions, but I'm just like getting...
Tread lightly.
Yes.
Tread lightly. Okay. Well, no, I feel... I totally do not want to make you anxious. I feel like there's dating to be had in a marriage. Mm-hmm. And I feel like there's dating, obviously, outside of one when you're not married, obviously, is what I mean. Because I am a very rah-rah person for monogamy, because that's what works for me. If you're not, okay, whatever, makes you happy. But I do think that because I married David when I was so young, so I was 20 when I got married. I could not even legally drink at my wedding.
That's crazy.
Isn't that nuts? I was 20 years old, and we celebrate 20 years married this year. So I'm super excited because we have a big trip planned. But,
that is a podcast idea for David to come on.
Absolutely.
To talk about your upcoming trip.
Well, and he's so good at planning dates, and stuff like that I think he is.
Give some tips to the hubbies out there.
Totally agree, because he's such a go with the flow person. We'll get him on here. It might take some, teeth pulling, but we'll get him on here. But I do think that, when I got married, online dating, I don't think it was a thing. Was it a thing in 2000? What year did I get married? 2003?
It was not a thing.
See, so to me, it's so weird because I do have some girlfriends who I love. We travel with them for real estate events and stuff like that. Like we travel together, and they're in relationships. At least some of them are now and stuff like that. But when they weren't, it's so weird to me. Like, we're just gonna pop this thing wide open. Dick pics. That's a thing.
It is. But I will tell you this. I feel like, okay, so when I first started doing online dating, I was introduced to it from a friend of a friend because practically all of my friends when I was married were married and had families. And so it's almost like you have to develop like a new friend group. I mean, not that I did lose some friends. I don't know if they were really friends, but some people within a social circle that I used to hang out with because I no longer had a husband. And so this is kind of going to something different, but it's almost like you have like the scarlet letter on you. Like husbands don't want you hanging out with their wives if you're going through a divorce.
Really?
Not everybody, but some people are like that. It's almost like, oh, they're going to catch it and they're going to get these crazy ideas and want to leave me too. It's a thing.
Okay, guys, I have to tell you just really quick, if you're married, I said this in a previous podcast, like your wife's probably talking shit about you anyways. Like,
true.
There are a lot of women who show up and like, oh my gosh, my husband this, my husband that, which is a lot of the reason why I got into real estate because I really don't like to complain about my husband. Like if I'm complaining about him, it's like I'm just having a moment. It's not like an everyday thing. It's very, very rare that and normally it's because I'm more frustrated than anything. So chances are your wife's already bitching about you. So to tell your wife to not hang out with somebody who's going through a divorce is ridiculous to me because I feel like you would probably need them so much, like that support.
100%. And I will say when I was married, I was like that. I never talked shit about my husband ever.
Yeah, you can't.
Maybe my very closest friends kind of knew what was going on. But when I said I was divorcing, people were shocked.
Really?
I had people crying and saying, oh my God, we looked up to your marriage and you were someone in the church that we looked up to. And
oh my gosh,
like this is going to stumble other people. And I was like, holy, like this is my marriage. Like I'm not crying. Like, I mean, of course it was sad and the dissolution of this family, but it was a decision that I knew was best for me. But yeah, so many people were really disappointed.
That's so
and
crazy.
It was shocking to them because they're like, but everything looked wonderful on social media and when we'd see you, because I mean it wasn't horrible, but
it's not like you're gonna be like, hey, we're fighting tonight.
Yes,
or you know,
you make the most of it and the best of it, and it's kind of my personality anyways. But I wasn't going around shit talking my husband all the time.
Good. But I
know lots of people that do, and those are the people usually that their husbands don't want to hang out with a divorced person, which is kind of funny. But anyhow,
that is funny.
It's like way off tangent.
And we can go down that road and another podcast because I do think that there is something to be said about that because a lot of times, like I said, if I'm upset about something, I will always take it to David first. He says that that's one of the great things about being married to me is if I have an issue with him, I'm like, listen, we're going to talk about this. And normally it's like, I'm going to talk about this. You're going to listen. Yeah. And this is the issue. And he does and then he will come back to me and be like, hey, this is how I thought things were. So we are very good communicators and I'm grateful for that. But anyway, so go ahead.
Say, yeah, in my marriage, there was no lack of communication. He knew everything that was bothering me and vice versa.
Good.
So that wasn't an issue. But anyhow, back to online dating. So a friend of a friend who's single and who's never been married around my age, she's very experienced with online dating. So she suggested Bumble, which is my favorite dating app, maybe because it was my very first one.
Okay.
But the woman is in control. So it's the woman that has to make the first move. It's woman owned. And
so what do? You swipe right if you like the person? Is the swiping
so
just
funny.
to one thing? I don't know how this works.
I didn't either. So I loaded up my pictures and did my profile, and then you start swiping right. And it is if you like the person, you swipe right. If you don't,
so
you
this
swipe
is
left.
a swipe right
this is a yes, and left is a no.
Okay.
So I'm sitting on my couch and I'm like, oh, he's cute. And I accidentally swiped the wrong direction. I was like, oh, no, shoot, I want him back. And I tried to swipe right. And then I'm swiping on someone that I was not interested in.
That is hilarious.
And then someone, it was just, I remember like going, and just like throwing my phone because I was like messing up already. But initially it was just fun because I hadn't dated since I was 19. And so it felt like I was like a 19-year-old again because developmentally in my dating stage, that's where I left it off. So my filters were a lot different than they are now. It's like kind of like I reverted to being like a teenager where I was like, oh, he's cute. He's in a band. Oh, that's okay. No problem. Like,
Oh, shit.
And now that those two lifestyles probably wouldn't,
Mesh.
jive as much.
For sure.
I couldn't picture that person being a stepdad or something to my kids. But
have you ever seen your ex on one?
I have.
Have you ever seen him on one where like they pair you together? Is that a thing? Do they ever pair you together, or it's just people like locally?
Well, the ones that I look at, no, you have to like the person or vice versa. They don't pair you. It's not like
How does it come up then? How come I don't get
just
people like from freaking Tennessee on mine?
You could if you opened up the distance. So I have mine within 50 miles.
50 miles of your home or your work or wherever you want it to be.
I am. So it will like track you. So like I was up north visiting my girlfriend a few weeks ago, and I wasn't on the app at all. And I think I went on there to like respond to someone who had left me a message, and it then tracked where I was. And when I got home, I'm like, what the hell? I had like 1500
somebody in Napa wants you. Oh shoot.
People that were trying to match with me. And I'm going through them. I'm like, oh, he's cute. And I'm looking through and I'm like, what? Like San Francisco? And so I had to filter through like 1,500 people to figure out where they were located.
That is mind-boggling.
In 2 days.
That is mind-boggling to me. I feel like that's a lot of work.
It was a lot of work.
I'm 100% staying married. Aside from the fact that I really like my husband, even though he doesn't want to come on podcasts with me, that is so crazy. Okay, so back to the dick pics. I think that surprises me. Okay, well, I think that surprises me more than anything else because I don't get it.
I have not gotten a dick pic in a long time, but that's what I was going to say. It depends on, I feel, the energy that you're putting out there is what you're attracting. So I used to get a lot of those kind of pictures in the beginning because my mindset was like, I'm just here to have fun and meet lots of people. And it was great. I actually have a few friends that I made through people I dated and we didn't work out romantically. And I never would have met them otherwise because we run in completely different social circles.
Sure.
They live in LA and I live in Corona and we're still friends. And so that's really cool. But what I was looking for was a lot different. And even how I set up my profile was different.
Really?
The pictures I chose to use, what I said I was looking for, how I described myself, what I was looking for in a partnership, the questions, the prompts you can choose are different now than before. Okay. So my energy before was like, let's go have fun, let's party. And I mean, not that that sounds so bad, but just it was very light.
I don't think that sounds bad at all.
I'm looking for a relationship because I was just ending one and I needed to grieve and process that, but also wanted to have some fun and kind of, I don't know, escape.
Sure.
So I got a lot of guys that would then send me those. And I'm like, and my response was always like, I think I'm not the girl you're looking for on here. Best of luck. And
then you'd block them?
And then I would unmatch because I wasn't interested in a dick pic.
But I really want to know, and maybe we should ask a guy who sent one. I don't know. Is that something that they say that they've done? I don't know if that's like a shameful thing or not, but I don't know what they think they're going to get from that. Like she's going to be like, oh, that looks great. Like, let's.
Do you have? I'm looking at Billy.
I know, poor Billy. Billy's been married.
The man in the building.
No, okay, okay. Billy's been married for forever and has 2 boys. Like,
I've never understood the dick.
Okay, you don't either. Okay, so
I don't think decent guys do because I remember. It was almost like I had a little bit of PTSD from these dick pics.
Yeah.
And like some guy would say like, oh, can I send you a picture? And I said, as long as it's not a dick pic, you can send me a picture. And they're like, oh my God, have guys really done that? And no. And it's like it wasn't a dick pic. They sent like a normal picture.
Right. I'm thinking that it's not even a picture of themselves.
You think it's someone else's dick?
100%. I think they like Google it.
That seems even creepier.
I agree. But I think if you're sending it to begin with, you're freaking creepy to begin with.
True.
So I think they go on Google and I think they look that shit up and send it. Perhaps. I think they find the prettiest looking one they think and send it on over.
They curate through the dick pics.
Yeah, yes. They curate through the dick pics. That's so weird. Guys, if you're single, a married chick and a single chick, we don't want dick pics. I don't even want a picture of my own husband's penis. Like, so.
Yeah, I don't even think I ever received one when I was married, nor did I want one.
But you know what's funny? I know David would totally take a picture of, my boobs or something.
Sure.
Like he'd be all for it. So maybe you guys just assume that
if they give,
girls
they'll
want
get.
it too. Yeah, maybe.
That's what I think it is. It's an open invitation and kind of like, how are you going to react? Do you like this? Okay, great.
But right off the bat, I guess, you know what?
That's what they're looking for.
That's what they're looking for. So, it's probably better for them that they do that. So maybe I'm not against the dick pic as much as I thought.
Right now, my profile is like, I'm looking for emotional intelligence and self-awareness. The dick pic guys are not looking for that.
Yeah.
So yes. I'm not getting those pictures.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes me feel better for all my friends who are on dating apps and stuff like that. Okay. So there's Bumble. What else is there? There's Hinge.
I've
heard you talk about that one.
And Tinder.
And Tinder.
Yes.
Okay, what's the difference? Okay, I do know. So one of my girlfriends is an amazing wedding planner. I mean, phenomenal. Rebecca Kalanya Events. She is phenomenal. She does them, at the Mission Inn. She's done them down in Newport Coast. She is phenomenal. I used to work on weekends that I didn't have open houses. Excuse me. I used to work with her at these weddings, and I would go and help her set up. I would go and, put place settings out and stuff like that. And I loved it. I loved it so much.
I didn't even know you did that.
Wow. It was so fun. I'm telling you, the next day I felt like I was hungover, even though I didn't have a lick of anything to drink. But oh my gosh, it was so fun. And this was right when she was building her business. So I hope that I was really helpful to her. But anyways, when I would go with her, there was this one couple we did a wedding for, and they matched on eHarmony. And
eHarmony's a lot of fucking work.
Okay. So it's funny you say that, because the groomsman got up, the best man, and he's giving his speech, and he's like, okay, this shit is going to work. And I want to say, like, she was a doctor and he was a lawyer. Like, and I'm just, I don't know for sure, but I know that they were very distinguished. They had great jobs, whatever it was. Are we going to die? Okay. Sorry. I heard beeping. And my ADD gets the best of me. And the best man got up and he was like, so we know this marriage is going to work because of the amount of time that each of these idiots put into eHarmony. And I'm like, I don't even know what that means. Okay. So
I have when I was married, my friend was not, and she decided to do eHarmony. This must have been like in I'd say probably. Actually, because the guy she met on eHarmony was a date to my wedding, so I was engaged.
Stop.
So I got married in 2005, so this is in 2004. That was the extent of online dating.
Okay, but I'm wondering,
eHarmony.
And I feel like that was probably the first one. So eHarmony came out probably a year after I got married?
I helped her do her profile, and by the way, I'm really good at that. I've probably helped a dozen friends. Actually, this could be another podcast. I went on one of my friend's first dates, 6 of her first dates with her.
How does that, okay, wait.
I'll tell you, I'll save that one for another day.
Were you with them at the table?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, so we'll save that for another day because I did not know that.
She asked me to go on these dates with her. It was actually fun, and I became friends with some of those people. But anyhow.
You don't need any more friends, Nicole. We have to tell her that. She's like, I just figure if it doesn't work out, we'll be friends. And I'm like, Nicole, you don't need any more friends.
I just don't understand. Like, if you connect with a human, and even if it doesn't work out relationally in a romantic way, like, I just can't just cut off a connection.
Okay, you understand that comes from me, right? A person who is friends with everybody. True. Don't take it for face value. Okay, so
but going back. So yeah, it took us 4 hours to set up this profile because there were so many questions, and she had to write essay answers. Mm-hmm. It took a lot of work. So when I became single, I'm like, I'm not doing eHarmony because that takes too much time. And then they just that is one that they match you with. And then they would pick 3 people. I mean, you can go on Tinder, Bumble, Hinge, and you can swipe through 1,000 people right now in 2 hours versus taking 4 hours to set up a profile and you're given 3 people.
So does eHarmony, are they still around?
I don't know if they are.
Okay. I wonder what their track record was compared to other online dating. I feel like if you go to eHarmony, you're going on there because you are looking for a person you want to get married or at least have a long-term relationship with if you're going to fill out 4 hours worth of profile work.
100%.
So I wonder if there really is kind of a method to the madness. I wonder if their marriages or their relationships do end up in marriages.
I think they do have statistics, the percentage of matches that end up getting married and blah, blah, blah.
Got it.
Now that we're talking about this, maybe I should join eHarmony.
I know.
Maybe I should put in the work.
Well, do you want to get married again?
I don't know. I go back and forth when I meet someone that I really like. And
sure.
and I see a future with them. Like, because when I don't, there's been many times like, I'm never going to get married again. Like, I love my space. Even when I was married, my ex-husband is a firefighter. So he was gone half the month. So it was me and the girls half the month on our own. And I really enjoy my alone time. So I don't know about having someone in my space all the time. Ideally, it'd be nice for him to have his life, me to have mine. We have a life together, but we still have some separateness.
Sure.
But then every time I fall in love, I'm like, oh, yeah, I do want to get married again. And I do, because I do miss a partnership. I do miss having a partner in life for the good and the bad, and to witness moments in your life.
Yep.
And it's just different when you don't have that. It really is. And I do miss that.
I can't imagine, I'm sure. Okay. So I didn't mean to throw that question on you. Sorry. You're probably like, huh. But back to the online dating. Okay. So you've done, tell me again, Bumble,
Tinder, Hinge.
Okay.
My favorite is still Bumble, but it might be because it was my first. I'm not sure.
And what's the difference between Tinder and Hinge?
Well, Tinder, I always thought was like the hookup site.
Yeah. But
some other guy I dated who we didn't work out romantically, he is like, you should go on Tinder because it's actually not the hookup site. And I said, really? And so I went on, and I actually ended up having 2 relationships off of Tinder.
Really?
I mean, they didn't last, so maybe.
Well, that's
it's not a great testament. But no, it was people those 2 were looking for a relationship.
Huh. Mm-hmm. And is that the one that you can, I know there's one specifically because a friend of ours was on this. We were on vacation, oh my word. And he was on it, and he can set it up to where where he was specifically in that moment. And he would be like, okay, I'm going to go meet up with this chick. I'll be back in like 20 minutes. And I'm like, what is happening? And Dave was like, he's going to go sleep with her. I'm so naive. I'm like, what?
20 minutes? That's all that he needed for the meetup?
I guess. I mean, and that included travel time. So I don't ask questions. Do you, boo? But I was like, so which one's that? Is that a certain one?
I don't know of this one.
Can you do that on any of them, really?
I mean, you probably could. You could just, some people will put on their profiles like, only here for the weekend, looking to have fun. So you know what they're looking for.
Okay.
So just kind of, and then some people will literally put not here for hookups.
Oh, okay. I think that makes it a lot easier then. Mm-hmm. So then what's the difference between all 3 of them?
I like Bumble, again, because the woman is in charge.
Okay.
I don't know. I like visually, like the format, how it looks.
Okay.
Hinge, I don't know what it is about Hinge. I'm not really a fan of.
No. Do you have to pay for all of these?
Each one is free, or then there's always an upgraded service or subscription.
Does that come with better people?
No, it just comes like they'll limit how many people you can swipe on, and now it's like unlimited swipes, or you can see who's liked you.
So you can only swipe on a certain amount of people?
Yes, it didn't used to be that way, and then they changed it so that they'd get you to subscribe.
Shut up. Mm-hmm. So if like your Prince Charming is the next one, you cannot swipe on him?
Nope. It will say you're done for the day.
Oh, for the day?
But you can subscribe for an extra $10 a month.
Shut up.
And have unlimited swipes.
I cannot. That is so, my mind is boggled. Okay, the only thing, and I don't want to talk for too long about all of this, but the other thing I want to know, okay, when you go on these dates, I want to know if it's awkward. And then I want to know, like, where do you guys go? What do you do? Is it just a coffee date? Is it like a romantic dinner? Is it a walk on the beach with gas station coffee? Or is it like, fine dining? Like,
I've had a mix of everything.
Okay, which is your favorite?
My favorite was being flown out first class and having foie gras for dinner.
Are we really? Are we going to talk about this?
That's all I'm going to say about that one. That's all I'm going to say about that one.
Okay, flown out.
I thought that one was going to be it.
Okay.
And I
did
was
too.
ready to marry that person. I thought, obviously it had to have time, but I was like, this is it. Maybe it's the foie gras that got me talking.
It would have been the first class for me.
That too. That was probably that was my most extravagant first date ever.
Yeah, literally.
But we had been chatting
for sure.
2 months and had really gotten to know each other.
And chatting like 24/7. So it's not like
chatting a ton.
I still was worried about her, you guys. I literally was like,
proof of life pictures.
I'm like, I need a proof of life picture. And so she'd send me videos and stuff. Like when he would do work stuff or whatever, she's like, look, and she would tell us what was going on and stuff. Yeah. I really have to say I've enjoyed being along for the last 3 years on this ride with you because it's very intriguing and you're also very open. So when I ask you a question, that's probably inappropriate to somebody else, you never take it that way. And maybe it's because I never mean it that way, but she's very open and honest with me when I ask her stuff. So I'm super grateful. Okay. So that was your favorite date. Yeah.
I could see that. Favorite.
And how long was that? I feel like you should tell everybody how long that date was, including travel time. And the flight was how long? We don't need to say where you went, but how long was the flight?
4.5 hours.
5 hours? Okay, yeah. 4.5 hours. So 4.5 hours there, 4.5 hours back. So 9 hours flight. And then how long were you actually in the city that you were in?
40 hours.
Oh my gosh.
I know. And it was so much fun. It really was.
A whirlwind. That's so up your alley though.
It is. I like grand gestures and...
you love to travel.
I love to travel and I love new experiences, and I am definitely an adventure girl. So,
yes.
And that's what my profile loves, adventures, because I really do. I'm always up for an adventure.
So if somebody's like, let's go skydiving on a date, are you down?
I'm so scared of heights. That one I may not do.
Yeah, I'm not down for that either.
I would say 95% of the time I will say yes.
Oh, really?
Yes, to an adventure of some sort.
To new things.
But I feel like I have an intuition, because there are some people that no way would I say yes to.
I feel like I do that with Sweetie Pie too, because there are a lot of times, especially early on in our marriage, I'm a little more reserved when it comes to adventure. I'm always ready to go, but there are certain things that I don't want to do. Example, we were in Jamaica, and I love Jamaica, and we went to like the 7 sacred pools. It's not Dunn's River. There's another one. It's actually where a Tom Cruise movie was filmed. Cocktail. I think it was filmed there. Anyways, so we're like going up and stuff like that. And he's like, let me get your picture swinging from this rope. And now listen, I'm all for rope swinging. Like I do it even in Havasu, in Topak under the bridge. Like that's fine. You guys, I was worried that the pools were not going to be deep enough for my fat ass when I jumped in. So
I worry about that too, and breaking a neck or something.
Well, I conquered that fear by making David go first, because I'm like, this pool's heavier than me, so if he hits rock bottom, I just won't jump. So, but then the other thing was, there are Jamaicans there. Have you been to Jamaica before?
I have not.
It's amazing. Okay, so there are Jamaicans there. They're locals, and they will go around and they will take your camera and take pictures of you. And you pay them when you're done. You know, they just want to be tipped out. So I'm like, okay, we have this guy, like, take pictures of us. And at first, David was a little weary. He's like, these people are going to run off with our camera. So I'm like, give it to them. They're here all the time. Like, all these people. It wasn't super crowded, but all these people were there. So anyways, he has the camera. He did his jump, and I'm like, okay. And you guys, it was so high too. So in addition to making sure that it was deep enough, I was like, what if the rope breaks? Like, I was just being me, worrying. And so, and all my kids are at home, and I'm going to leave them without a mother. Like I go to the deepest depths. So anyways, I'm up there and I'm like, okay, I have to do this. And he's like, I'm going to record it or get it on video or camera, whatever it was that we were doing. I'm like, okay. So the Jamaican guy that was trying to get us to give our camera to him, he's like, okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. And so I literally jump out, and I didn't swing long enough, and I just let go. And I swim up, and I'm like, I did it. I'm swimming over, and David's like, has this look on his face. And I'm like, what? He's like, 2 things. 1, I thought you were going to die. You need to and I was like, what? He's like, you need to let go later. Like, you barely got off the cliff and you just let go. And I was like, I thought I was holding on like a really long time. He's all, no. He's like, and the other thing is, you have to do it again, because I didn't get it on film. And I was like, what? Mind you, I missed this part. Okay, before I jumped, I was like a hard no. And he's like, Lauren, when are you ever going to be back in Jamaica and go in the waterfalls? Y'all, I've been back like 4 times. But I was like, you're right. When are we ever going to be back here? Like, we're probably never going to come back here. I'm probably never going to be able to do this. So that's initially what convinced me to do it the first time. And then I was like, you freaking freak. Like, you told me we're probably never going to come back here and do this again. And here I am having to do it again in the same trip. Like, I was thoroughly annoyed. So
the cautionary tale here is to make sure to hire a Jamaican to take the picture, not your husband.
100%. 100%.
I thought it was going to come back to one of the guys filmed you. And
Nope. David was still, we finally did hire the guy to freaking take pictures of us, and he was lovely. But I don't even know how we got on that from your story. Oh, because the adventure thing. That's why. But yeah, so there have been times that I'm like, nope, I won't bungee jump, and I'm not going to jump out of a perfectly good airplane. I have been on a hot air balloon ride though.
That's fun.
That was lovely. Okay, so what was, since now we have the best, we have to go to the worst. What was your worst?
Oh, geez. I feel like I've been really lucky.
Have you been stood up? Have you gotten to a location and been stood up?
No, but I have been stood up prior to like someone text me telling me like, okay, let's meet here at this time. I'll confirm like day up.
Oh, that's right. You just had this happen.
Just happened. And I was like, what the fuck?
Yep.
Because then I get my makeup and my hair done, and I would have rather not done that.
Fair enough. You take your bath and go to bed.
Yeah, exactly. But
so being stood up like that, I would think would probably be the worst then if you haven't had a bad experience.
True.
You haven't had any weirdos? Like you show up and you're like, this dude you're just not vibing. He's not.
I've had weirdos on phone conversations before.
Okay.
Or like messaging, and it's like major red flags that I'm like, no way am I meeting this person.
Really?
Actually, I had someone call me last night off of the app, because you can call off the app.
Do they have to pay extra for that?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's part of the
The thing. Oh my gosh.
And he was like, hey, where are you? And I'm like, what?
Like, we're like, who is this? Does he have your phone number?
No, it just calls through the app.
Okay.
And she was like, hey, you should come by San Juan Capistrano. I'm like, I'm in LA. And this is like 9 o'clock at night. I'm like, I'm in LA right now. I'm heading home. He's like, it's okay. Just come by. So obviously after I hung up, it was unmatched with that person.
Was he at the Swallows?
What's that?
That's what Bill and Jackson always talk about down there.
Oh.
And I'm like, I am not going to a club called the Swallows. Are you out of your mind? He's like, because of San Juan, the birds. I'm like, I get it. I do. Yeah. It's just not sounding okay to me. Okay, so that's really...
Yeah. Usually, though, I feel like I have a good job filling it out beforehand, before I'm going to agree to meet up with someone. I've had a date that I've canceled once I became social media friends with them and saw their content. And I just said, like, I just don't think you and I have the same worldview. I don't want to waste anyone's time here.
That was very nice of you to not waste their time. Yes. That is awesome. Thank you so much for talking to me about online dating.
You're welcome.
It's such a realm that I am not familiar with, and I'm sure we could dive deep. Thank you for my clarification on the dick pics. Just a reminder, gentlemen, we don't want them. So save the time. And if we do want them, then we don't want what I want, I guess. But not everybody's like me. So I guess send them if you think that person wants them. So weird.
I would wait to send unless there's a request.
Okay, there's my advice as well then from us both. So anyways, we hope you guys enjoyed the LumBADASS podcast all about online dating today. Have a great day. We'll see you guys next time.